Well, Jean-François, what do you want to start with? Should we start with Quebec Solidaire? Do you think Gabriel
Well,
Nadeau-Dubois saved his job at least till 2026?
oh, he did save his job. He did more than that. I
Hmm.
mean, it was an absolute masterful reversal of the ideology of Quebec Solidaire.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
The current program that they've worked on for 18 years says that the Solidaire government would nationalize the forestry industry, the big
Yes.
forest company.
Yep.
What they voted on this weekend is to salute the importance of the forestry industry in the development of regions.
Hmm.
So there was an amendment to say, wait a minute, we said the opposite in our program, and this amendment was soundly defeated. By the same token, they were very consistent environmentalists in saying, well, of course, to forestall the burning of the planet, governments and industry have an important role to play, but individuals also, as they did in the last campaign. Now, this weekend, they said, except for individuals who are large polluters like billionaires, we must not ask anything to individuals in any way. They're not culpable of anything. So that's a full reversal. So they did that. For me, they have uprooted what was the core belief of Québec Solidaire, which was to change the system and to be anti-capitalist. I mean, they have the right to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But now they are a social democratic party that, in some cases, actually pander to regional interests.
That's fascinating, and we don't have time, but there are several other examples on housing, agriculture. They did a complete 180 on a lot of these issues.
Yeah.
Now, ultimately, Jean-François, in terms of being able to connect with, because ultimately this is about trying to target certain parts of the Quebec electorate that is not looking at Quebec Solidaire. The regions, for example, suburban families, for example. Do you think that this will actually work and Quebec Solidaire can grow its electorate based on this Saguenay declaration?
Well, it's too soon to tell, but they felt that they couldn't stay the course, but staying the course was declining. Now, clearly, the impact is so great, and everybody in the regions who follow politics know that they've done this. So for a while, they'll have an open ear. They'll say, okay, so you say you're for us now, so what do you have to say? So I'm not sure it will work because the countervailing impact is that Quebecers love authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
And what just happened lacks authenticity. So we'll see. And also, women voters may not react so well to all these women in Quebec Solidaire that seem to be pushed away by Gabriel Nadeau-Dubois. So the jury's still out.
Jury's still out. And what of what I would call, quote unquote, the rebels? I mean, the Catherine Dorions, even the Amir Kadirs of the party that don't seem to be very happy with what transpired, but yet they said their piece, but they didn't, create a rebellion over the weekend.
So that was, Nadeau-Dubois said this morning that he was a bit anxious coming into the weekend. He certainly thought that the resistance would be more important, but clearly resistance was futile because the number of people who opposed was very small. There was no risk of scission, of having a new party coming out of that. And basically, they counted themselves, and now they go in November to a Congress where they'll rewrite the program to rid it from all these Marxist remnants and to strengthen the power of the co-spokesperson who will become, I think we'll have to wait for the proposal, but clearly they want them to become co-leaders. And for me, they've been counted this weekend, and it's a clear path for Nadeau-Dubois all the way for these other reforms.
So I know you told me it's too soon to tell how this will change the political landscape for Quebec Solidaire, but if you were still with the PQ or advising Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon, how would you talk about or react to, if at all, to what happened with Quebec Solidaire this weekend?
Well, there was this attack of Nadeau-Dubois on Plamondon on Saturday when he said you can't let Plamondon turn this beautiful independence dream into a referendum against immigration.
Correct.
So that played very well in the room. But the majority of Quebecers, 2/3 of Quebecers, feel that there's too much immigration. So basically, every time you bring the issue of immigration to the fore, and people look at the party that is most forceful in trying to deal with it, well, you look at the PQ. So in a sense, if I were them, I'd catch the ball in immigration and say the declaration may have been demagogic, but the reality is that we're concerned about immigration. They're not. So come to us.
Moving on to the CAQ, what did you think about the discipline issues or the non-issues and the focus on access to online for children under 16?
Well, access to online, I'm the father of 5 children. And I think this is a public health issue of great magnitude. So I'm glad that the governing party, pushed by its youth wing, has decided to go forward with that, because just a couple of months ago, when the PQ proposed exactly that, a transpartisan commission on the issue, Legault seemed to be out of the 50s and not knowing what to do with that special beast. Yeah. And he said no. Now he says yes. So there's going to be a commission. And so I think that's progress. But it's odd to see that the only thing that the governing party did in his day of meeting was to approve a PQ proposal.
Okay, moving on to the Liberals. What did you think about their nostalgic weekend in Bromont?
I think this is a meeting to be put in political science books, compulsory. It's as though people would have met maybe a month ago and say, okay, how can we have an event that will remind voters of the reason why they pushed us to our worst result in the history of Confederation back in 2018. So they hated our leader, Couillard, and they hated him because he made cuts in health and education that were unconscionable. So we will put him front and center and say, I would do it again. And vote for us. You'll have more of the same. I mean, look at it. I understand that there's a tradition in the Liberal Party to be kind to a former leader, but do it behind closed doors. Don't let the cameras in.
Okay, I want to say what I found interesting. I always love your take on the Liberals, but you said they put Philippe Couillard front and center. Actually, Jean Charest was front and center, and Philippe Couillard was just standing next to him.
I watched a bit of the homage, which is very long, very well done, very elaborate. And at some point, you have a video of Jean Charest saying nice things about Couillard. And I said, oh, he couldn't come. But then the camera panned to Charest, who was in the room. Yeah. Why do you have a video when the guy is in the room? Well, so you said recently, last time Léger, the pollster, made a poll on the best liked and worst liked premiers of the history of Quebec. Well, of course, René Lévesque is far and away the number one, but there's a fight for the last position between Charest and Couillard at over 70% negative opinion. Yep. So show them as much as you like.
Jean-Francois Lisee, former PQ leader. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.